Hey!
Hi!
Welcome to our living room.
Yes, this is our place.
Coming to you right now, it's live in Uganda, but whenever you get this, it'll be coming to your computer or your mobile device. Anyways, thanks for clicking play and watching this video. Thanks for also being someone who follows us, who keeps up with us, hears our stories, hears what's happening in our lives, and cares about us. So we thought it's been a little bit overdue. We'd love to get you an update. Yes? I think one of the coolest and one of the most exciting is the baby.
Yes, baby. It's
Yes.
growing. We're growing. He's kicking right now, so next time hopefully you get to see him in a few months. So yeah, 2 months left. It's crazy. It's gone so fast. But yeah, we're so excited. I'm 32 weeks now, so yeah.
Getting close. Now, how are you feeling about having a baby in Uganda?
It's very hot.
Very hot.
Pete bought me a little fan that I can take everywhere, which is really good. Great husband. But yeah, it's exciting because we had some different options. Obviously, we could go to Belgium or to the US or stay here, but like this is our home.
That's right.
So we want to have the baby here. We want to raise him here. Also, the example that we're setting now is living this life with Jesus, and wherever He calls us, that's where we'll be. So for him to be born here, it's just a legacy and just something that we can bless him with, and a great story for him to tell.
That's right.
When he grows up.
We feel really privileged to have this opportunity to live here, to be able to build church and be a part of what God's doing here, and also to raise a family here. Now I'm wondering, can you stand and give us a bump? Because I know people love the bump. Yes, there it is. The baby is there. So we're really excited. Thanks. Yeah, excited for his arrival. January 5th is D-Day. Delivery day.
Could be Christmas.
We'll see. They're telling us we could have a Jesus baby. Could be after January or after the beginning of the new year. We don't really know, but God does. So as always, we continue to appreciate your prayers in that. But mom is doing well. Baby is doing well. Just had a checkup last week, and everything's really great with that. So that's exciting.
Yeah.
Some more exciting news. We've been seeing, I think this season in Kampala, in Freedom Church Kampala, has been a season of steady growth. And we just want to take a few minutes just to share some of those stories with you. So this past Sunday, one of our students, a young man named Ignatius, gotta love that name. Ignatius is one of our Zeal students, so he's 15 years old, and he's been involved with our student ministry here. And he came along to a class that we put on a couple weeks back, really just talking about, hey, what does it mean to follow Jesus? What does it mean to own the vision of our church? And through that conversation that he had with one of our leaders, Joey, it kind of became clear that Ignatius didn't really have a relationship with Jesus. So they talked about it some, talked about what that would look like, and Joey really put it back into Ignatius's hands to pray about, to think about, and make a decision. And this past Sunday, we had a message. It was actually all about the Bible. It was talking about why we can believe the Bible, why the Bible is more than just a historical book. But in the response during the invitation, Ignatius raised his hand, and Joey was able to have a conversation with him, following up with that, where he said, hey, I'm ready for this. I want to give my life to Jesus. It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's so encouraging. And we've got baptism scheduled for this coming Sunday, and he's going to get baptized. So he goes from a few weeks ago recognizing, hey, you know what? I don't have a relationship with Jesus. I've been just kind of doing the religious church thing for my life, and through a conversation with a volunteer who cared about him, made intentional time, he gave his life to Jesus. He's going to get baptized this week, and we're so excited to see the difference that Jesus is going to make in Ignatius's life, in his family, in his school, and beyond. So that's just one of the stories of life change that we've seen, even recent as this past Sunday. But you've got another one.
Yeah, we have Esther in our church. She came in about 2 years ago. Very broken past, a lot of hurt. She hasn't been in church for years. but she actually got invited about maybe 4 years ago, I think, but she never really wanted to come.
Yeah, that's right.
But she just was at a point when she was so broken and she just needed hope. So she came back in, recommitted her life, and I think probably in those weeks we announced Academy that we were going to start something that we're part of now. And she came to us. We didn't even know who she was.
True.
And she signed up. We did an interview with her, said, okay, God, if this is something for her, like, let the doors be open. And she's been on our Academy last year. We've seen incredible healing through that, her posture even to forgive people from the past. She's making such like huge progress and steps that she's taken. But we're just so grateful for her and how she came in really broken and hurt. She made some really bad choices, some really hurtful people around her too, but how now God's just changed everything around. And now she's actually one of our tutors, one of our teachers in Academy this year, so she's teaching and tutoring, helping other students that have the same past as her.
That's right.
She's helping them grow in Jesus and really supporting them. She's such a blessing to us, but how God transformed her life in just over a few months, and even the last 2 years, it's from death to life, black and white. It's incredible.
Another quick story. This is another one of our members of our Academy class last year. So Boaz, you may have heard us talk about him before. You may have seen his story on our Facebook page. But Boaz also had only been in our church a couple of months when there was just a conviction within me that he needed to do Academy. And so I approached him and mentioned it to him, and he was so surprised because he knew he hadn't been in church very long. And he didn't think that he was eligible. It's just so cool to see how God prepares people, but also he calls people sometimes before they feel ready, before they feel prepared. And so Boaz came in, and you know, honestly, he had a challenging Academy year. There were some things that God really needed to work out of him. There was some pride, there was some anger, there was some independence and things. But God just did an incredible work in his heart through the Academy year. And now, not only has he grown, he's so much more joyful, he's submitted, he's humble, but also a few weeks ago, we were excited to announce that he stepped in as our production team leader. So our previous leader had been over that team for a number of years, and just through conversations and talking with him, he felt like he needed to take a next step by stepping out of that leadership role, and Boaz has stepped in. And since then, he has just been on fire. Not only has he been so excited and he's been passionate, but he's been encouraging his team, he's been really improving communication, he's taken such a weight off of us, he's really taken personal ownership of not just his role in his team, but of the church. And we've just seen him have new ideas, coming to us with fresh things. But it's like we're seeing him beginning to really operate in his gifting, operate in his passion. And it's just so cool when you see that. Especially when you've seen the journey, when you see someone who was hurt and as a result would hurt people, someone who was angry, someone who was prideful, all of those things. And then God does something in his heart. And now, he's not only leading people, but he's serving people well. And it's just been really, really encouraging to hear. We just wanted to share some of those stories with you because it's really the stories that matter. I'm sorry, technical difficulties, the camera shut off, and we didn't know it, did we? Nope. We just kept talking. But, as I was saying, it's just great to hear those stories and to share those stories. We're so grateful to get to share those stories, but also, if you've been going on this journey with us, and you've been supporting us, you've been praying for us, you've been keeping up with us, that's a story that you get to share in as well.
True.
Because even though you may not be here having those conversations, and you may not be here leading those people, and you may not be here speaking to them and getting to see their life and the change that Jesus is making, you're doing it by being afar and by praying for us, by giving and supporting us financially. Matter of fact, we literally couldn't do it here if it wasn't for the financial support of people like you that are watching, that are keeping up with us, and that are being faithful in that. And so we're really excited with that. So many of you have given to us, and that's allowed us to live this year. Matter of fact, God has not failed to provide for us this year. We haven't missed meals. The power hasn't been cut off because we haven't paid the bills. It goes off on its own. But we've never had to sleep outside unless we chose to in a tent or something. God's provided for all of our needs, and we've never lacked. And we're just so grateful for those of you that God's used in that. But we have a really exciting update for you, and that is that Facebook, many of you will be familiar, that on November the 27th, it's a day that's called Giving Tuesday. A number of years ago, it was started. So you have Thanksgiving on Thursday, you have Black Friday on Friday, and really the whole weekend, Cyber Monday on Monday, and then people thought, hey, you know what, let's, instead of consuming so much and taking so much, let's give back. And so Giving Tuesday was created. So this year it falls on November the 27th. And the reason that we're sharing this with you is the organization who helps us collect and receive donations from around the world, particularly in the US. It's called Welcome Home, and it was created by, it's a nonprofit created by our good friends the Welches, Richard and Anna, who are here as well in Kampala working and building church with us and leading with us. They created a nonprofit in the US last year, and they have offered and extended to us to be able to take donations on our behalf and do it all nice and tidy through an online portal. So some of you have given to us through that, and we've talked about it before. But here's what we're sharing, why we're sharing all this and what's so cool. Is we have a page on Facebook for Welcome Home. You can go and find it, you can like it, you can follow it. It's got a logo with a blue mountain, an outline of a blue mountain, and a little greenhouse and a green tree. And if you go and you find Welcome Home, you'll see pictures of the Welches, you'll see updates and information. But Facebook has said all of the nonprofit, the approved nonprofit organizations that are affiliated with Facebook and listed on Facebook, they are going to get behind Giving Tuesday as well. It's not just the individuals, it's the big Facebook giant. So they've said, hey, we are going to match dollar for dollar all donations that are received through our nonprofit Facebook accounts, up to $7 million. So Facebook is essentially giving away $7 million on Giving Tuesday to match dollar for dollar all of the donations that have come in. So what's so cool about this is our organization is an approved organization. We submitted it last week, Facebook approved it, and they said, yes, we will match all of the donations that your organization receives.
Amazing.
Dollar for dollar on Giving Tuesday. So what this means for us and for you is we want to ask, will you get behind this? Will you take Facebook's money? You know, Facebook is giving this money to give back. But wouldn't it be so much more amazing if actually it doesn't just give back, but it funds the kingdom of God. It funds the work of the church. It funds the work of the gospel. You can redeem that money that they're giving away and funnel it towards what God's doing here in Kampala and what God's doing in us and through us. So what we want to ask you to do, go and find that page. I'll include a picture of the logo, maybe even a screenshot, along with this email as well so that you can see what that looks like. Go and find that page and like that page. But we want to also ask, would you mark down November 27th on your calendar? Because here's what's going to happen. Beginning at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time in the US, Facebook will begin matching those donations until all of the money is gone. Now, I want to tell you, last year, the match went very quick. They did something similar, and it took about 2 to 2.5 hours before all of the matching money was gone, because people are getting behind this. It's probably going to go even faster because more people are going to be aware of it, more organizations are going to be getting behind it. So what we want to ask you is, would you consider sitting at your computer, logging into Facebook, using your mobile phone at 8 a.m. on Tuesday, November 27th, and making a donation through our Facebook page. If you're in another part of the world, you can figure out what time that is. But it's critical that you log on right away at 8 a.m. Log on a few minutes before and sit there and wait, because at 8 a.m. they'll all be matched. And we're setting a goal for this. You know, the Bible talks about a double portion, this idea of double blessing, and we believe that this is God's blessing to us. It's His way that He's going to bless what we're doing here, because we have been faithful, we've been generous, we've been good stewards, we've come under budget this year. But hey, maybe you have thought about giving before and you just never have. Maybe you even felt like your $20 or your $50 or your $100 didn't matter. But now, what if your 20 becomes 40, your 50 becomes 100, your 200 becomes 4? Hey, maybe God's spoken to you and you're thinking about giving a larger gift, $1,000, $2,000, $5,000, and now that's doubled. Just think of what that can mean for us and for our family, our growing family. It would be huge. It would be a tremendous blessing. And so maybe even you're giving regularly, and you've been giving already through Welcome Home or through another channel. We just want to ask, would you consider, rather than giving monthly for the next 12 months, would you just give a one-time lump sum of the same amount? So if you're going to give $50 a month next year, rather than doing that, would you give a one-time $600 gift on Giving Tuesday? Because now that $600 is going to become $1,200. And it's going to be so much more valuable for us and for our life here. And maybe, as I said, you haven't given before. Would you consider just making a one-time gift? Hey, if it's $5, that $5 becomes $10. And I just want to see us take as much of this $7 million from Facebook and funnel it and channel it into the kingdom. That's what we want to see. And so that God can use it. It's like we're redeeming that. If you're inside the U.S., if you're located within the U.S., not only will your gifts be matched and will they be doubled, they'll also be tax deductible, so you'll be able to claim them for your year-end taxes. If you're located outside of the U.S., I'm sorry you don't get a U.S. tax deduction, but your gift still is matched. So if you're located somewhere else, figure out what time that is, 8 a.m. on November the 27th, and go to our Facebook page, Welcome Home, and make that donation. So we're setting a goal, boldly and audaciously, of $10,000. And it's a little bit intimidating to say that, because that's a lot of money. And we know that that's a lot of your money. It's not our money, we don't have it. But we also know that God's called us here not to have jobs that provide money, not to work for other organizations, not to spend our time trying to raise money, but to spend our time trying to raise leaders, to spend our time trying to raise a family, to spend our time trying to build something that's going to matter. And so by you giving, we can actually focus on what God's called us to do here. But we just want to ask you, will you get behind us in this? Will you help us see this goal? That's $10,000 of donations, which, if every dollar is matched, is $20,000. So just want to ask, would you get behind us in that? Would you take Facebook's money, direct it and channel it for the kingdom, and just ask you to be bold and generous in that? That's it. Did I miss anything?
I don't think so.
I may have, because I talk a lot, but hopefully because I talk a lot, I said everything. But we love you, and we're so grateful for your support. Thank you for watching this video, for hearing some of the stories. Continue to pray for us. Pray for our Christmas event on December 16th. Hey, we're in a series right now that is really focused on reaching people outside of church. It's called Reasons to Believe. I invited a guy who works at the mall where we have church yesterday. His name is Manak. Would you pray for Manak that he would come to church? He doesn't know Jesus. Would you pray for the Manaks that we are inviting this week and that we've invited in previous weeks, that they would come, and that maybe they would come with some questions or some skepticism, but they would leave with an understanding of who Jesus is. So continue to pray as well for mommy and baby, our baby boy. January 5th is that D-Day. Pray that it goes to term, that everything is okay, and that we're able to navigate traffic quickly whenever the time comes. In case we don't see you or talk to you again before Christmas, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year,
Yes.
And the next one of these, we'll have one of these here in the middle as well. So excited to share that with you. God bless, bye.